And in the news, if you caught it recently, there's been, I guess, an evaluation of the dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico being as largest it's ever been.
I don't know where we're going.
That's related to, purportedly related to nitrogen and phosphate, primarily in Midwestern corn, finding its way down the Mississippi. But with that said, the driving force behind my program is resource utilization efficiency. So how do we grow more crops without putting on fertilizer, nitrogen, that type of thing. So that when Dr. Homer came back into town, we decided we would do a pea trial. We had a wheat trial here, started in October of last year after the field day, and it was harvested by two entities, myself and sparrows. So we tried to collect some yield data, but I don't think it's going to be very valuable yield data. But we were going to grow corn here. On this slide, we decided to change that idea, and with Dr. Homer here, we decided to go ahead and do some pea varieties. You're welcome to come out on this side. Be a little drier. She has a code there for each of these, but these are basically breeding lines that Dr. Robin Gross and Azize developed several years ago, and we had seed of those, and we also got some seed from an outfit in Oregon. But the whole idea here is how can a lot of our soils here are low in organic matter. So one of the ideas was how can we get some organic matter in an alternative way than putting on compost? Why not let Mother Nature try it? So we planted in June, which is somewhat of an odd time to plant, but that's when we thought we would just do it and see what happens. And as you can see, we have a crop. And so some of these, if we don't get an early frost, we'll have seed. But so Dr. Homer's already started her forage sampling. You may see a gap missing from some of the plots we're working our way through and doing a biomass sampling. Just basically want to see how can we get some biomass in these soils, some organic matter free without having to, well, you have to pay for the seed, but that's not a big deal. All these are Austrian winter pea. They're not the dry edible pea types. They're Austrian winter pea types. So if I could, Dr. Homer, I'll turn it over to you. You can kind of go over some of the history. These all have numbers. One of them is in a release phase right now where individuals can grab it. And my understanding is that it can be basically bought from the university, and then that company can take it and grow it up and sell it, basically as what we call a public release. And Keith Kennedy's here. If something I said there is wrong, he can maybe correct me. But that's generally what we're doing with this variety that Dr. Robin Gross and Dr. Azize Homer developed several years ago. But anyway, I hope you can kind of walk through and see some of the variation here. Some of these might have come from a similar cross, and some are unknown. When we got some of these varieties, we called up and said, what variety is it? Austrian winter pea. I said, what variety? Austrian winter pea. So they don't know. So we might have to do some DNA on it or something if we can get permission to do that. But anyway, Dr. Homer, I'll turn it over to you, and you can tell them kind of the history of how some of these came about and what some of the end games are. There's companies and growers interested in this Austrian winter pea for western Nebraska, Panhandle, southeastern Wyoming. So there is some interest in this.
Yeah, hello. Dr. Heitholt explained most of the research we are doing here. Basically, these are actually bred for fall planting. So Dr. Gross and I and Dave from the department, we made some crosses from white germplasm we obtained from USDA, and over the years we select for winter hardiness, and they actually were grown over many Wyoming winters, and we select the one that survived both natural selections and artificial selections. Anyway, so then we advanced these lines until they reach homozygous, the true breeding lines, and usually they perform really well. And but this time, as Dr. Heitholt said, we wanted to see how they perform for summer planting. Actually, we plant them pretty late. It was mid-June and under irrigated conditions. And we are happy what we see here, at least forage and dry matter yield. Most probably they won't produce the dry seed, but that's not our goal today. And and we see different also morphological characters here. Some of them has white flowers, and some have purple flowers, and some also have upright growing habits, which actually one of these lines here that Wyndham is one of the white flowered winter pea lines, and so that can be mechanically harvested without much of the seed loss. And in addition to these experiments here, back of the west side, I have a bunch of F2 generations that the purpose of that to come up some edible vegetable types of peas. Those are the ones we call snow peas, snap peas, and garden peas. What I did a while back when I was at the University of Wyoming as a PhD student, I made crosses between winter pea lines and these edible pea lines. And then I am selecting for frost tolerance and even fall planting or really early planting, so that they can just grow and resist to don't get damaged by the frost and go to field, farmer's market as a fresh pod or fresh seed used very early in the season. So I'm really happy. Of course, welcome to walk if you want to go all the way down the west side, but I have all these three classes of the edible pea types, like as I told, and so I will select based on grow habits and also quality pea types and earliness and pod load. So that's what I'm doing this summer, and I will advance those F2 generations until they become true breeding. It means around F6, and then we will maybe come up with some release for the locally adapted snow peas, maybe snap peas, or even garden peas for local growers, for commercial growers or garden, because we have different growing types. For example, if those vining types that grow, they can produce green pods for a long time. So you can harvest them very different times. Especially, for example, in Laramie, they can stay green for a long time in the crop. So, and also we can develop something for mechanical harvest or big growers that they can just come to maturity earlier and uniformly. So there are different kind of types that we are looking at. Anything I missed or just you want to add?
Covered everything.
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah.
So as of right now, are there any of the edible versions, the F2 versions of this variety, or is that like a new thing that you're working on?
I'm working on those to develop for the region.
Ooh,
for local adaptation. Yeah, these are the one already through breeding advanced lines with a couple of the commercial cultivars. We are comparing their performance for dry matter yield forage, and also we're gonna add some organic matters. But in your side, with your acre farms, those are the one that you can see they segregate different growth types: ephelia versus wild leaf types versus purple white flowers or different grow habits. So those are the one that I am hopeful to develop some good lines, maybe for the local growth here. So,
cool.
Yeah.
You would definitely grow them over there if you.
Yeah, you should actually
when you
try.
get
I
'em.
can give you some seeds that you can test.
That would be great.
Yeah.
We'd love to do that.
Yeah, at the end of the season, I will get, because
Cool.
they are earlier than these winter peas.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these winter peas require some cold to flower. They are not like obligate like winter wheat, but they need some cold to flower. They flower a little later than those my F2 lines over there.
Uh-huh.
So I will hope to get some seeds.
Cool.
So mature seeds that I can give you, and you can try
Yeah,
to see, select for your own growing.
Yeah, we're gonna try to
conditions.
do some winter crops for the first time. So
Yeah, great. So just
we'll be waiting for that.
communicate with me.
Excited.
Yeah, at the end of the harvest.